Uh, this is at the internal level. Of course, the closure and the siege on Gaza is affecting the performance, of course, because the availability of materials needed to repair the water networks and the water pumps, and even the equipment needed to build new projects that can create additional water resources are not available because of the siege. There is difficulties in getting materials, and there is reluctancy among the donors to commit themselves to the investment programs that enables us to develop new water resources like the desalination. All the time we talk about solving Gaza problem with building the central seawater desalination plant. We have to stop abstraction from the aquifer, because to recover this aquifer it will take years, more than 30-50 years to recover the water quality in the aquifer, and there should be an additional or alternative water resource. For the case of Gaza, the water resource, the additional water resource, is from desalination as one track, and we have been looking to find finance for this project since long time. This project is also connected to what we call the national water carrier, because even if the additional water is available, we have to have the correct means and tools to distribute this water to the different zones. And in this way we have to upgrade the distribution system, which needs the so-called national water carrier. The total estimate cost for these two projects is around $400 million.
You know, again, when you see how much was promised for Gaza a year ago, there were billions and billions.
That's
which
right.
I think nothing has arrived here.
Nothing has arrived except for very small projects related to covering very, very emergency needs, repairing such well pump or repairing such a small piece of water network. But when it comes to the real investment programs that can create a change in the water situation in Gaza, nothing happened. And basically, yes, the commitment of the donors themselves and the Israeli closure, because if Gaza is not under this sharp siege, I think the donors may be more active to commit themselves.
Yeah, but it has, I mean, as far as I understand, it all has to go through Ramallah, because they collect the money and you will
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. We don't have a problem with Ramallah in the water sector, actually, because my management is in Ramallah, and I'm trying to manage this business in Gaza. Ramallah is waiting, as we are waiting in Gaza, for the donors to be more committed. And if there are any agreements, they just sign the agreement and we follow later all the details needed.
And when, I mean, you were talking of a need for 80 million, I think, liters of additional water if you don't, or the overdrawing of the aquifer. And so if you want to replace this by desalination, that is a huge operation, isn't it?
It is a huge operation. Now, when this 18 million deficit, actually it is for both the domestic and the agricultural water uses. Now, the total consumption which I mentioned which is 170 million cubic meter a year, is almost divided 50% among the agriculture sector and the domestic sector. But the priority for us is to solve the problem of the domestic sector.
Yeah, of course.
The people that are paying a lot of money for the bad quality desalinated water from the private sector, and they are not benefiting and affecting their public health. This is around 85 million this year, but it is increasing all the time because of the increasing population and the increasing needs. The agricultural sector, we have plans to solve its problem in another way, because in many of the agricultural activities, there is a chance to use the treated effluent of the wastewater. And we are working on the other track of building the wastewater treatment plants and to have a proper effluent with acceptable characteristics that can be used for the agriculture. And we hope that within a couple of weeks we will sign the first contract for the North Gaza wastewater treatment plant, and this project will produce an effluent that can be used for agriculture. Now, the agricultural consumption is around 85 millions, and it should be more, by the way, because normally if the weighting of agricultural consumption and the domestic consumption should be around 70% to 30%. Today we are 50% agriculture and domestic, because the agricultural activities are not as before. A lot of agricultural areas were demolished by the Israeli invasions, and most of the agricultural areas are close to the Green Line, which is threatening the people to resume their activities there. But the worst case that we need 85 million of for agriculture, and should we have the treated plants in Gaza, in the north of Gaza, in Gaza City and in Khan Yunis area, I think the majority of that water can be guaranteed from the treated effluent.
And I mean, if you do this the desalination yourself, then you would balance the water to the right, put the minerals in, and so that
of course,
and that would not be a basic. It's not a basic problem.
It's not a basic problem, of course. We are looking for a water quality that can protect the public health and the lives of the people.
But
you have costs.
And you have no. You say you cannot force the private sector to do this kind of job.
We cannot force the private sector to do that. Big business, especially under this very deteriorating socio-economic situation. But as I told you, we are opening the door for the private sector to cover the immediate needs. But still, there is a need to monitor the performance of the private sector. And the main point for us that the private sector is working to desalinate the brackish water, which is temporarily for us. This is not the future option under the current conditions of the coastal aquifer.
So brackish water, you mean I thought they were using seawater.
No, the private sector are not using seawater. They are using the same water from the aquifer, and we cannot work on that on a big scale, because this means that we are abstracting more water from the aquifer, which is deteriorating more and more the water quality. The option for us is the seawater desalination.
Yes. I thought this actually, the way I read it was that because it is desalination, they use seawater anyway. You haven't reached that point yet.
We haven't reached, except for one pilot project we made in the middle area. It's a governmental desalination plant, not a private sector, and it is being run by the municipality there.